Why are we doing it? I should put one on. All right, guys, we got a lot of basketball to get to. We're going to start the gentleman by the name of Steph Curry and his team, the Golden State Warriors. There he is, 31 points in 29 minutes, mind you. No Draymond, no Kuminga, no Horford for Golden State. Hield gets 20 points. It's been a very crazy year for the Warriors so far. Before this game, they'd lost 3 straight, which is a little bit crazy. But they sit at 10-9 through the first 19 games. That's another part of the story. The fact that they played 19 games is a little bit weird. But, Lou, I will start with you. When you watch this Warriors team play, are they closer to a championship level team or a play-in level team?
I don't think they're either right now. As it stands, I think they're a first round exit team. You look at them right now, as it stands, they're an 8 seed, right? And if they were to stay in that position, they got to match up with OKC in the first round. I don't see them beating OKC as it stands. So I would say they're a first round team exit, but we also know Golden State's DNA, right? Like, this is a team that's very intentional about getting in the playoffs, getting a guaranteed spot. And trying to do everything they can to qualify for that. So I don't think this is a team that stays in that 8th spot. I think they do everything they can to get in that top 6 to get in the guaranteed spot. But as it stands today, I'm looking at them as a first round exit. I don't think they can get past OKC with the way they're built and the way that OKC is playing. So I got them right there in the middle. I don't think they're a championship contending team. I also don't think they're a play-in team. I think they're going to be one of those teams that try to put themselves in the mix, for a 6 seed or something guaranteed in that realm. But right now, I can't call neither one of those. As it stands, I would say they're a first-round exit team if that was their matchup, if it started today.
If I had to pick one of those, Lou, I gotta go play in. Like, you look at the Western Conference, I don't think they're as close to as good of a team as OKC. Same thing with Denver. Same thing with Houston. Like, those are championship expectation teams. I think the Warriors are dangerous. I think anytime you have Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler on the floor, you have enough to win basketball games, and the way they play and the way they move and the way that Steph can just erupt like he's been doing this season. They're a dangerous out. But, man, the Western Conference, we talked about it all season long. They are so good. It's so deep. It's so top heavy with those teams that are actual contenders. This team might end up in the play-in, and then they still are going to have to play OKC, Denver, or Houston if they're in that 6, 7, or 8 seed. So I think they're ways away from a contending team. I do think they have some assets that they can possibly move and better their roster and maximize that win-now window with Steph, with Draymond, with Jimmy Butler. But if I had to pick one of those two, it's got to be closer to a play-in team than a contender in my eyes.
Yeah. But I just think that gray area is so crazy. Like, it's so much gray area between being a play-in team and being a championship contending team. Like, that's a lot of gray area. But if you feel like they're closer to a play-in, that's why I'm saying it's a gray area, because I can't agree with that. Like, we've watched them talk about, we got to get a 6 seed. We got to get one of those guaranteed spots. I don't think they're one of those teams that linger around, especially when you're still having success with no Draymond, no Kuminga, and no Al Horford. We know how old this team is. We know that they're on the latter side of their careers. But we've also talked about how competitive and the IQ that this basketball team has. So I can't put them in the play-in, especially with knowing that it's guys in and out of the lineup, and they're still trying to figure out who can be a consistent. Like, I look at Pods last night. He didn't have a great night, but I think he'll be more consistent moving forward. GP the second, he's playing good basketball for him. Buddy Hield is playing well off the bench. And you put all of those pieces together, I feel like they're a middle of the pack team. I really can't put play-in on them, but I also don't see them as a contender for a championship either. So it's tough to really read at this point in the career.
Is it possible a play-in team wins a championship? Or we're getting way too.
I mean, anything can happen. You got injuries, freaky things can happen. Like,
that can't
it's
happen.
Not impossible.
I don't know about that one.
It's not. How about this? It's not impossible. There is a slight chance. Might be a small chance, but a slight.
I'll ride with that one. I'll ride with that.
Just a slight chance. What's kind of crazy too is if you think about last year, they were sort of floating around as well. And then the Jimmy Butler trade happened, and it was just like an injection of new energy, and everything felt fresh and great. And I'm wondering, Chandler, if you can look at this team and sort of maybe see that happening again. And obviously you mentioned the trade assets, and I know Kuminga's going to be front and foremost for that. Is that something we might be looking at? They might pull one of those again.
I think so. I think when you look at, I just feel like Kuminga's bound to get moved. It feels like it personality-wise. It feels like it fit-wise. It feels like it relationship-wise. He feels like the scapegoat. That is not someone that's comfortable. It's not someone that pictures themselves long term in this organization, in the face of this organization. Again, I said this yesterday. We've heard pods talk about he wants the torch passed to him. Kaminga's got a much higher ceiling and has had a more productive start to his career. And you never heard him say anything close to that, being in Golden State, making that his team, taking over this franchise post Draymond Green, Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler era. So I think he obviously he's the obvious one to move. I'd love to see Klay Thompson kind of get somehow back here. He doesn't seem to be doing anything, and I don't know if that moves the needle for Golden State, but I would love him back there, and I do think that he's some shooting. Story. It would be feel good. Anthony Davis is a name you're hearing around. That would make sense of if he can be healthy, which again, it's a big if. That's a win now move that could kind of bump them from that play into more of a contender category. But I do think they're solid. They defend. They're statistically they're kind of just middle of the pack. They don't do anything elite. Just out of the top 10 defensive rating at 12. Offense, they need nights like Steph Curry had last night to be that much, that elite on that end. Because when you look outside, they don't really have that kind of scoring punch anywhere else outside of Jimmy Butler, who can kind of bully ball you off the block. It's still constant movement. And Kuminga is kind of their third best scorer, and he's getting DMPs, and he's not playing, and now he's hurt. So there's always going to be the big question mark around him. But I do see them making a big move because I think Mike Dunleavy wants to maximize this Steph Curry window before he's gone.
Let's keep talking about Steph Curry and that window. In last 5 games, last 5 of the 6, he scored at least 31. And in that, there's a 46 and a 49er, which is crazy. We love bests and worsts and lists, Lou. So best scoring point guard of all time. Will it be Steph Curry? Right now he's sitting there third.
Yeah, I think before we were having this conversation about Steph Curry, another person that was going to be brought up as one of the dynamic scoring guards is Allen Iverson. And even Allen Iverson has passed the torch to Steph Curry, and he's bowed out and said, Steph Curry has did worlds of amazing things that I've been able to do in my career when it comes to scoring at basketball. So absolutely, yes. He's changed the game. He's changed the way that the kids play the game. He changes the way that these kids view themselves, and he's still going out and doing it at 37 years old. He's, it's not even an argument to say he's the best shooter in NBA history, but when we talk about just scoring a basketball, he doesn't get the credit for his finishing ability. He doesn't get the credit for who he is in the mid-range. We know who he is on a three-point. Like, he's a 3-tier scorer that can do it on every single level. And as a guy that stands at 6'2", 6'3", he's going to be one of those guys. Like, a lot of these kids, when I'm in these AAU gyms, a lot of these kids see themselves in Steph Curry. They see that as a style of play that they can mimic, that they can mock and put in their games and still be successful. He's been able to do that over the course of his career, so he's definitely going to go down as one of the best scoring point guards that we've ever seen, if not one of the best scorers, period, at any position that we've ever seen. 100,000% for sure. That's going to be Steph Curry when it's all said and done.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think we kind of put him in a box when we start talking about the shooting ability or point guard. He's one of the greatest basketball players of all time, regardless of position, regardless of his shooting ability. He is one of the greatest NBA players of all time. So yeah, I think he's the best scoring PG. I think he's the best PG. I think he's the best shooter. I think he's the best conditioned NBA player of all time. I think the list goes on and on and on of what he would rank number one at. And like Lou said, he's not this man-child prodigy kid, like dude that you can't relate to. He is the baby-faced assassin that kids can see themselves in, that kids can condition themselves to play like and move like. And obviously it's going to take countless of hours to shoot the ball like he does, because no one's ever shot the ball like he does. But you can relate to Steph Curry, and you know what? His game is going to age really, really good, because a lot of these guys that base on athleticism, when they lose a step, they go downhill. The way Steph Curry shoots the ball, it's crazy to say. He can play till he's 45 years old if he wants to, and just stand in the corner, not allow people to help, and just knock down threes at a 45%. Like I don't see him slowing down anymore, even when he loses a step, because he can shoot the ball from wherever. So his age is
Allen, he could turn into a third or fourth option on a team and be 100%. A spot shooter, be a corner. Yeah, he can stretch defenses out and give a team an opportunity to get 3-pointers. Now, I don't know if he's gonna be able to guard anybody, so he might be giving up twos. He might be giving up twos for threes. But if you look at his career and you look at how he can shoot the basketball, if Steph Curry is healthy enough, he can play for a number of years just being a spot shooter, being somebody that spaces the floor out for a team for sure.
Yeah.
Guys want to talk some shoes? I am a little curious what you think about this, because the news last week was that he and Under Armour cut ties. And so he's basically been wearing different shoes in every arena, a lot of Nikes. He had Kobe's, he's got Pennies, he had Sabrina's last night. There are rumors, they're just rumors as of now, but there have been some loud rumors about Nike and some sort of giant monster deal that they might come to an agreement. But I don't know, CP, like the sneaker deal thing, is it, how big is this? The fact that he's on the back end of his career, but he's still going to probably sign a monster deal because he's going to sell shoes forever. Like, what do you think?
Yeah. He's such a legacy guy that I think even when he retires from the game of basketball, he is the one current player that will continue to sell shoes for the rest of his life. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he even needs to be a current NBA player for kids to want to be like him, for kids to want to play basketball like him and shoot like him, and they want to wear what he wears. So I heard this was strictly financial reasons. I heard Under Armour was losing a lot of money every single year, and this had nothing to do with anything else. But I think it's awesome that now he's kind of hitting the free agent market at his age, and he's still got his whole life to live on his shoe deal. If I'm Nike, if I'm Adidas, I am signing this man yesterday to a lifetime deal, give him his own shoe, and build the sickest shoe that every kid in America, in the world, would still wear, even post NBA career for Steph Curry. So I know this was a financial decision with Under Armour, but man, I think teams should be lining up at the door to throw him a lifetime bag because he has that impact. He has that weight still, even when he retires from the NBA.
I don't know, man. This is unique for me because we've never seen a guy switch shoe brands like at this stage of their career, right? So like even and by the way, give him credit for being a bigger man than me. That the way that Nike flubbed the first one when they were trying to sign him and they put up the the PowerPoint of Kevin Durant's with Kevin Durant's name. It's kind of copy and paste. So for him to even double back and entertain that conversation, he's a bigger man than me. But I'm curious to see how this pans out with him being at this stage of his career. And, them coming up with a brand or a signature shoe. I'm not sure what it would be because he hasn't committed to Nike yet, even though he's been wearing a lot of their products. But I'm curious to see how does this play out when it comes to making a shoe and trying to get kids behind it and get involved, because he hasn't had a track record with Under Armour of being that type of athlete and having that shoe where kids are running out and getting to Steph Curry. So obviously if Nike can come up with something super dope and fly, the kids are going to wear it no matter whose name is on it. But I'm just interested to see what a partnership looks like for somebody going into, the latter stages of their career and having a signature shoe and how much excitement can they generate around that. It'd be interesting to see.
Well,
but
hold
if there's
on.
one person that can do it, it's going to be Steph Curry.
And
what
also,
about cool golf gear, Chandler?
Okay.
That's what I was just gonna.
I'm here for that.
I was just gonna say.
There we go.
This dude that
Now,
can
that's
go.
an angle, Beadle. That's an angle.
Woo-wee.
Exactly what I was gonna say, dude. This is a guy that can try and play in the Corn Ferry, or he can play on the tour when he's done playing basketball, and you have a whole nother category of a whole different sport that you can build a brand around this guy. And Lou, I don't know if it matters to you, but like, I just don't think Under Armour's dope. Like, I would never wear an Under Armour shoe to another guy. Like, if Steph Curry had a Nike shoe, I would probably want my son to go get it. My son's not wearing Under Armour. It doesn't have that.
Wow.
So that's what I'm saying. That's what's unique about this. Like, is it more about the player's impact, or is it about the brand, or is it just the perfect marriage where
I think it's both, but the brand matters for sure.
Yeah.
When's the last time? And I'm not trying to be rude here. I noticed a girl wearing an Under Armour sports bra yesterday. First time I saw Under Armour. Yeah,
I'm out there.
Never.
I'm out. I'm in these gym streets with a bunch of kids every single weekend. It's not happening. I'm not even trying to be funny or this. The reality is, you don't see a lot of them. You don't see a lot of the boys are even wearing the women's shoes. I'm starting to see the guys wearing the Asias and the Sabrinas and the Jaws. Those are the top three shoes that you see. Yeah, those are the top three that you see consistently in these gyms. But Beadle, I love the golf angle. I didn't think of that one time.
I wear Steph Curry golf shoes. Or like some cool
100%.
shirts. I'm in on
You'd
that.
wear them for sure if they were Nike or even Adidas. You're not going to wear them if they're Under Armour. I golf every single day. I would wear his Under Armour golf shoes. By the way,
Okay,
I have
Chandler,
no
we
beef
get
with
it,
Under
Chandler.
Armour.
What's your deal with Under Armour? We get it.
What's the deal? What happened? There's
I
something.
have zero beef with Under Armour. I really don't. I am just saying
Somebody
I'm
hurt
never
you.
going to go buy Under Armour shoes ever. I don't care whose they are. I'm
You're
not going to go
talking
buy
about Under Armour like it's poison. Like you're like, oh God, I could never.
Not
it's
Nike,
like a tone there,
not
right?
Adidas.
Beadle, it's a little something, a
over
little
the top,
spicy.
buddy.
What did they do, Chandler? They didn't give you the deal?
Tell
What's
us
going
something.
on?
No,
Something happened at
no.
a party somewhere. Come
They
on.
forced me to
We'll
go
get to it.
Chinese. No, listen, nothing. I just say I'm not going to go and buy Under Armour shoes.
That's
I
a
never
good
will.
option. Yo,
But
what
you
if he
know
does
what?
that? He could go independent, although I doubt it, but he could go super independent.
That's also
But
tough.
to add to that, I've also seen him wear some Shaqs, which are Reeboks. I've also seen him wear, some different brands. So I like where he's going with it. He's playing the game. He's,
love it.
he's letting brands know that I am a absolute free agent. I'm not leaning one way or another, and he's playing the game. So it'd be interesting to see what comes.
Lou, hold on. Before we move on, you're going to Foot Locker and you're buying a
Here
pair
we
of
go.
Under Armour sneakers.
No, but
my
I've said, but also I think Under Armour tried to scale and they tried to get into other sports. They're known as a football brand. When they first came out, they were 100% a football brand with football gear on and off the field. And I thought they did a great job of establishing their base and establishing who they were talking to. And then they tried to scale into other sports. And I don't think it hit the way that they expected it to. And this is a great time for both parties to bail out of this thing and pull the parachute and get out of it.
Are we
No
still
hard
going to
feelings.
Foot Locker? Are we still going to stores? Like I feel like you said that. I went
yesterday.
Really? God, I haven't
There's
been
still
to a
champs.
store.
There's still champs,
The
dude.
champs.
Still a champs.
Just
Yeah,
for feet?
I had some time. I was waiting for some food, and the place that I wanted some food was connected to the mall. So I had a few minutes to
mall?
burn to it.
I haven't been
did.
to
I
a
went to the
mall
mall.
in years.
It was a good
Holy
time.
cow.
It was nostalgic. It was a good time.
Were you at
What
Cheesecake
we do.
Factory? Be honest.
I did not go to Cheesecake Factory.
Not this time. No, not
the
today.
mall I was in wasn't that nice.
Okay, fair enough. We got some other games we could talk about. The old Denver